How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nature Has Flavor podcast. My name is Danny Horgan. It is a rainy and cold Thursday afternoon here in the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts. I just came back from the grocery store. I got the ingredients to make Nature Has Flavors carrot ginger soup, which is probably my new favorite soup. I've been eating a lot of soup lately. The season has definitely turned for the worse. We're on the cold side of fall. Having a nice warm bowl of soup to look forward to every day, it's a nice consolation prize. There are so many delicious soup recipes in Nature Has Flavors cookbook, Cooking Your Way to a Healthier Life, which is finally here next week. We're finally getting the physical copies. I can't wait for you guys to see this book, to feel this book. The pictures are amazing. The recipes are absolutely mind-blowing. This book is going to be a staple in your kitchen for years to come. For the next 10, 20 years, you're going to be pulling this book out whenever you need a healthy recipe, whenever you need an innovative recipe that's going to blow your friends and family away, whenever you need a bowl of soup that's going to warm your soul on a rainy day like today. Guys, I want you to have this book for the holidays. I want you to prepare these recipes for your friends and family and bring them to your holiday events, because this is going to change the way people view cooking. It's going to change the way they view the plant-based diet. These recipes are truly that good. Head on over to naturehasflavor.com and get your copy today. So today we're going to discuss dairy, which is an entire food group on the United States food pyramid. There are a lot of misconceptions about dairy. There's a lot of confusion about dairy, and I think that confusion is pretty warranted because we all grew up under the idea that dairy is a health food, and there's still a lot of people out there who think, oh, I'll have a cup of yogurt. That'll be a great snack. The Got Milk campaign, where you saw all those athletes with those milk mustaches, that taught us milk is good for you. It's going to help you grow big and strong. You need calcium for your bones. Milk provides that calcium. Milk is the ultimate food if you want to be healthy. The truth is not so pretty when it comes to milk's effect on the body, and I want to talk today about the basic science behind what milk does to the body in both the short term and the long term, because I feel that everyone should at least have this information. So before we even get into the science, I think there are a lot of people out there who are afraid of giving up dairy because of one particular food. They like ice cream too much, they like cheese too much. There are so many great plant-based alternatives now. I can't speak to the different types of cheeses because I wasn't a big cheese fan even before I switched to a plant-based diet, and I don't eat the cashew cheese, the soy cheese, but I can speak to the ice cream. There are so many delicious plant-based ice creams out there. Even Ben & Jerry's makes a whole brand out of coconut oil and almond milk. And while it's not necessarily healthy, if you're looking for a plant-based version of your favorite foods, they exist. You're well taken care of with all the different options out there. But there are still a lot of people who are asking, why should I give up the real thing? Why should I give up the actual dairy? And the answer comes down to a few things. So there's a documentary out there that most people who are listening to this podcast have probably seen called Forks Over Knives. And in that documentary, there's a great quote from a doctor who says, milk is the perfect food for baby cows. If you're looking to grow a baby cow, everything in milk is geared towards that. And just from a common sense point of view, it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, cows are producing milk for baby calves, right? A baby cow needs to grow big and strong. The mother's going to produce milk for that baby cow. So the fact that we're drinking cow's milk, it's a little bit unnatural in the first place. But the human body is very adaptable. We are able to utilize a lot of the proteins, the nutrients that you will find in milk. However, there are certain things in the milk that we really shouldn't be consuming, right? And this is where the health problems lie. First and foremost, we're looking at cholesterol, right? The human body produces cholesterol naturally. We have the ability to do that. We don't need dietary cholesterol. The only foods that contain dietary cholesterol in amounts significant enough to even register on nutrition labels are animal products. Milk, dairy, eggs, fish, meat, etc., right? These are the only foods that you're going to find this dietary cholesterol. And cholesterol is not good in excess amounts. If you have too much cholesterol, it's going to clog up your arteries, it's going to slow blood flow, it's going to lead to more problems that I could ever even come close to describing in a podcast of this length. I would have to go on for days talking about the problems that cholesterol can cause. So when you're adding extra cholesterol into your system, when your body can already produce it naturally, it's going to create problems from the very get-go. The second issue with dairy is its acidity in the body and what it actually does to your bones, especially in the long term. There's this belief out there that milk is going to build big, strong bones because of its calcium content, but the science actually says the exact opposite. I'm going to read to you guys an excerpt from Nature Has Flavor, Cooking Your Way to a Healthier Life, which delves into the science of dairy and why it's actually pretty bad for you. So here's a clip from that book. A cohort study conducted by Swedish scientists analyzed fracture rates among 61,433 women over a mean follow-up period of 20.1 years. Their findings: women with higher milk intakes had greater risks of fractures. If that wasn't disturbing enough, the women were also found to have higher rates of mortality. The same study also analyzed 45,339 men over a mean follow-up period of 11.2 years. The men who consumed the most milk were also found to have higher rates of mortality and no reduced risk of fracture. When you think about this, so this is a really in-depth study done over a long period of time. It's horrifying to think that people are actually still putting dairy into their bodies. It's rotting their bones. It's actually increasing their risk of mortality. And this comes down to all the negative effects that dairy has on the body. So what this means is that when you consume a lot of dairy, your blood is going to be so acidic that your body is going to need to draw upon a source to counteract that acidity, to buffer against it. And where it's going to draw from is your bones. Your bones are full of calcium. That's what it's going to use to counteract the acidity in your body. So when you're consuming dairy, you're actually getting the opposite effect of building strong bones. Where can you get good plant-based sources of calcium? Well, we do go over this a lot in Nature Has Flavor, Cooking Your Way to a Healthier Life, the cookbook. But to give you a few examples you can take home right now: almonds, a great source of plant-based calcium, and greens. Greens are a fantastic source of calcium. Eat your greens, people. They're good for you in a lot of different ways, including calcium. The third issue with dairy, and to me the scariest one, comes down to the type of protein that you'll find in dairy. There's a protein in dairy called casein protein. You've probably heard of it before. And the research out there on casein protein and what it does to cancer cells and how it accelerates the growth, it's absolutely horrifying to me. I've gone over this research a lot. It to me is the single biggest reason why I'll never consume dairy again. When you consume casein protein, there's research out there suggesting that it accelerates something in your body called insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1. IGF-1 in high amounts can accelerate cell growth, including cancer cell growth. So to me, the research makes a lot of sense. If you've read Dr. T. Colin Campbell's China study, if you've seen Forks Over Knives, you know some of the research that I'm talking about. But he's not the only one who's looked into this. There have been other studies done suggesting that IGF-1 can accelerate cancer cell growth. And to me, that is a huge reason to just steer clear of dairy. So I wanted you guys to understand why dairy is actually not good for you, why it is that when you go to the supermarket and you're picking up that Greek yogurt, it's one of the most harmful things you can put into your system. And what we want to do here at Nature Has Flavor is show you don't need dairy, you don't need butter, you don't need cream to create delicious meals you can look forward to every single day. Our chef Leron Meller comes from a French cuisine background. He loves French cuisine, and they're known for their use of dairy. The soups that he makes, the dishes that he makes, they're so much better than anything he made with dairy, and he says that himself. He's a chef. He's not someone who's just going to say that. He takes food seriously, and the food that he makes with the extra virgin olive oil, it mimics the texture of dairy. It's also a whole lot better for you. So we want to show you guys how to do that. The cookbook is a great way to take that first step and to get some guidance. But we also have a lot of great recipes at naturehasflavor.com, which you can check out right now. And if you have any questions, email me. My email is danny@naturehasflavor.com. I'll be happy to refer you to some great plant-based alternatives and also to link you to the scientific research that I'm talking about. I will include that research in the show notes here today. But if you're looking to explore a little bit further, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to help you out. Guys, next week we have Dr. John McDougall coming on the show. This guy is a vanguard in this plant-based movement. He is one of the more accomplished doctors of his time. This guy is out there every single day promoting a very healthy plant-based diet. His emphasis is starch. If you go to any grocery store, you'll probably see his face on of those cups of soup and that they sell in the health and natural section of grocery stores. And those soups are delicious, by the way, and we're going to be talking about those next week. But in the meantime, shoot me an email, Danny@naturehasflavor.com. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon.